came out from the battle of bad romances. Not romance, but romances. Like I've been through in and out. And I think life has been such a life-changing fork for me. But at the same time, throughout the whole years, like since 14 years old all the way now I'm 30, I'm very proud saying that I'm 30. So throughout the whole years, like, you know, about 16 right now, 16 years, I think my first relationship, I could say that I was with a green-eyed monster. He was very possessive and obsessive, and most of my relationships has been the same. It has been, you know, basically following the same column, and it did not lead me anywhere. A lot of things I wanted to, especially my own dream goals. It has been always like a turning point that where it did not lead me anywhere when I was in a relationship, a violence, domestic violence relationship. And one day I just told myself, you know what, I really need to wake up from this cessation of suffering. That's why I brought it up, a journey of self-awakening. That's where I got to address what's the true meaning of sufferings. And sufferings, I think most of the women out there today, we are targeting to them. They suffer because they do not really know, acknowledge what they really want and who they really want to be and who they want to be. So these are the things that I think all of us need to comprehend in the end of days. And I would want to encourage all the women out there to sort of know that the three things that I believe that all three human beings in this life is about who you were before, who you are, and who you will be. So these are the things that you need to address, you see. I think the whole life discovery for me is about who I was before. It was a whole entire life discovery. It was like a discovery channel. I was watching and viewing myself at the back. And I got to know that we all make a living, and it's too often that we lose perspective of what we truly mostly want, like it's important to our eternal salvation. So that's why I say that that's where I got myself more spiritually inclined, because it's very, very difficult for me being a victim succumb actually and violated in domestic violence and sexual assault relationship. It was a nightmare for me, I would say. It really, really, I live in so much of chronic pains, depression, insecurities and self-esteem as well. Like now today I can have a smile talking about this, but before that, no. You know, every time the day before I could just wake up in the morning, I start screaming and shouting. I'd be going through so much of pain, but the only person who was there for me throughout the way was my mother. So my mother was my best friend, you name it. She was my soulmate, I would say right now, and to this very day we're still really good friends, and she knows I'm here today, so I'm spreading my love to my mom. And how I managed to move on, okay, it wasn't an easy journey. I was hibernating my own nest, like being with, not just with my mom, but at the same time, I know that, you know, this is not what I want to bring up, but I believe that we all have a God, you know, out there, and somehow it's up to your own beliefs. Whether you can believe your God or whether you can believe yourself, but in the end of days, it's a reflection of your own mirage. So that's what I strongly believe. And I used to attend actually church services every Sunday, and just to receive forgiveness and you know, salvation, telling myself that I need to really move on. Not just that, I believe I'm an omnism, you know, not just you know, sort of targeting to one religion, because I have a lot of Islam friends, I have a lot of Buddhism friends, I have a lot of Hinduism friends. I actually go to the temples. I go to Sikh temple, I go to the Hindu temple, I go to the Buddhist temple, I even go to the surau and masjid before, right? So that's where I want to experience various of life at the same time, not just being able to, you know, sort of view my life in just for myself, but putting myself, it's about placing yourself in other people's places as well, and being able to have that life transition. And that's where I managed to discover myself even more, like, okay, after all this pain, 1 year of pain, I hibernate myself after my previous marriage at the age of 22 actually. And not many people knew about it because I sort of ran away and eloped from my family. I vanished and I got married to a man that I'm not supposed to be, and which was totally, I would say that no parents will approve. No parents will approve, because it was not a well-learned, it's not about well-learned, it's about, he was in the underground. You know, he belonged to the black market before, and me being a model then and an actress then, it was hard for me to relate because my lifestyle and his lifestyle was totally different. But I managed to actually put myself down to ground and just blend into that. I do not know how I do it. It must definitely be, you know, one of the attractions that was attracted to him. But I think Tamina knows the story about my story.
Okay.
So who I was before, I would say that I think I was a very immature person. I think I was just, just as I say, always a seeds in life. You see, this is what I always believe. And how a seed was being planted, it has to be dead first, right? The plants would die out first in order for them to release a certain kind of seeds to germinate on its own. So I believe I was actually a fruit, release the seed. So that was me before. I was just trying to like adventure about life. That was with me. Okay, great. This plant, I'm planted to a seed right now, and here I am, like who I was then. I was dead before because I was going through this whole process of life. I was just trying to identify who is my own identity. That's why I call it, the journey to self-awakening. I was going through this process, and then right after when the seed germinates, as well, I realized like, you know what, this does not belong to me. I need to be out of where I'm caved in, where this relationship, domestic violent relationship that is just being so suffocating and taunting and haunting to me that I need to step out of it. So when I step out of it, that's where the plants grow. So that's where I believe like who I am right now defines myself, my journey to self-awakening. And that's where I say that we all are humans, we call the shot, we make our choices. And I realized that my true life existence here is a self-awakening calling that I call that all of us use our God, given senses. And I'm glad I'm able to be given these senses and able to allow this seed grow to a plant right now. And from a plant, I'm growing to a flower. So I believe there's so much more to achieve from all those, dreadful occasions that has rises for me.